Hey, Mike, how you doing?
Good. What's happening?
Not much. I just wanted your opinion on a possible trade proposal, and if you think the other team would even go for it. Greg Bird, Sonny Gray, and Clint Frazier for Blake Snell. I love the way he
No
pitches
chance.
that.
No chance.
No chance?
No chance.
What do you think they could add to that to go for
Nothing.
it?
Nothing.
Nothing?
They would not give up a pitcher that at that stage of his development, they would not give up that pitcher. Absolutely not. Remember, they don't want to take payroll, so you would have to give them players who were ready. You know, you would have to give them the likes of, Torres and Andujar, guys like that. They would take them. But you'd have to give them that kind of player, or they'd want like 5 for 1. I mean, the deal would become prohibitive. They would. Listen, first of all, you're not fleecing them. They're smarter than you are. You go into the premise right from the start. They're smarter than you are. All right? That's why that's the guy that the Mets should have hired, because the kid was brought up under Sternberg, and the Bucks are smarter than everybody else. How else do they, with no money, playing in a division where they play the Yankees and the Red Sox 38 times, they win 90 games with no payroll? I mean, because they're great at what they do. That's why. They're absolutely great at what they do.
I appreciate it, Mike. Thank you.
But no, he's untouchable right now. Chris in Orlando, what's up, Chris?
Hey, Mike.
What's
Mike,
happening?
thanks for taking my call and being a diversion to my state I live in with can't even counting votes. But anyways.
What state are you talking about?
I'm in Florida, Mike.
Oh, yeah, that's a mess.
What a mess.
I am not a Florida resident yet. Someday I will be, obviously, because I'll do half and half.
Don't bother voting.
But, I am a property owner, so I can get involved, but I know it is an absolute... you're talking about, first of all, you guys are the hotbed of the world anyway. Everybody always cares more about what goes on in Florida than anywhere in the country. Secondly, those are very contentious races, and that one's going to be a while, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a dead heat on the Senate race, Mike, between Nelson and our governor, Rick Scott, and then it's a dead heat with the governor's race right now to take.
Is the governor's race that tight? I thought the Republican had a little breathing room.
Try under 100,000 votes. It's like 50.2 to 49.8.
And how many absentee votes are there still to count?
They're at 99% reporting right now, Mike. So that 1% is those votes, and they're counting them now, and they're behind schedule. Top story of the 4 o'clock news. It's on my TV right now. It's a mess. So thank you for being a diversion.
Thank you. Okay.
All right, Mike. So quick question about the Mets. So more of a question for you. More a point real quick. Did you see what Rosario did today in Japan against their best all-star pitcher?
No. What do you do? What do you do?
Yeah, Rosario went 3 for 4 for the MLB All-Stars, a home run, a double, and 2 runs scored.
You know what?
So
Good for him. Listen, I liked what I saw from him last year in the second half of the season.
The second half?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So here's my question, Mike. Besides the Dodgers, is there a better top 3 with an honorable mention to Gesellman and Lugo? Is there a better top 3 in the National League of Syndergaard, DeGrom, and Wheeler? What do you think?
Not if Wheeler pitches like he did his last 100 innings last year, the answer is absolutely no, because Wheeler pitched like he pitched like an ace. Those last 100 innings.
Better than those 3?
No, no one is. I think the Mets are better.
So Kershaw, Ryu, and that kid.
I still think the Mets are better.
The Mets over him.
Yeah, if Wheeler pitches like he did those last 100 innings, Wheeler was off the charts. I mean, if he pitches to that level, then
Matt,
absolutely,
Lugo,
yeah.
We're deep again, Mike.
And you
it's
throw
like 2
in.
years
Listen,
ago.
I even count Matz. I think Matz.
Really?
Listen, I think Matz
is prone as he is, Mike.
I think Matz is okay if you have a left-handed starter like him for your 4th starter. I do not have a problem with it. I really don't. I'm okay with that. I really am.
Doesn't Lugo deserve to be in the rotation, though, Mike? As a 4th
no, I like him better. I like him better
mid-relief.
I think he's Ramiro Mendoza. I really do. I think he's a jack of all trades. I think he's
Gesellman?
I like him as I like him as a spot starter, Gesellman.
Yeah, I don't like him 7th or 8th.
No,
inning.
neither do I.
He's
No,
inconsistent
I like
this year.
Lugo. I like Lugo in every role out of the pen. I think he's a jack of all trades.
We're on the same page.
And I like Gesellman as a starter. But the key is, if you go right here, last 15 starts last year, Lugo, 10-1, 2.0, 100 innings, 100 strikeouts.
You mean Wheeler, not Lugo?
I mean, excuse me, Wheeler, 100 innings, 15 starts, 100 innings, 10-1, 2.0, 69 hits, 100 strikeouts. You know what? That's big time. That is big time. That's an ace right there. 10-1, last 15 starts, 2.0, 100 strikeouts, 69 hits. Robin Greenlawn, what's up, Rob?
Hey, Mike, how are you today?
What's happening?
I always get very fascinated listening to you talk about NFL ratings. And I remember this time last year, we were talking about just how bad they were. They were headed down. Haven't heard anything about
They're
that.
way up.
Year.
Way up.
Right, they're up. And so what I always was fascinated about is, like, how do they really know what we're watching? How does the NFL know? Or how do the networks know? I mean, I've never known anyone to have, like, a Nielsen
All right,
box.
listen.
They
spent.
really
remember, now this is either something people believe in or it is a bone of contention. Now you can remember Billy Packer, right?
Right.
Remember the old basketball analyst Billy Packer?
Yep.
Billy was only did basketball, didn't do other sports, and was a genius businessman away from basketball, okay? I mean, everything he touched turned to gold. He was a Picasso collector. He owned restaurants. He owned real estate. He owned office buildings. He was a incredibly successful entrepreneur. He drove CBS to the point of distraction because he never bought into the rating system. He diametrically believed that they were underrating college basketball during the NCAA tournament. Right. So this was his bone of contention, and he went to great lengths. And if you challenge the Nielsen people, remember, you are toppling a incredibly multi-billion-dollar industry because they have a scientific way of, putting meters, dealing with them in city per city, and dealing with them across demographic strata, and they feel it works. Same thing for radio. They feel it works. They have different systems, but they feel they work. And there are people who feel they're way off. And that's been a debate for a very long time, one you could spend a lot of time on. I mean, I could get scientists here in this one because there's an incredible amount of money involved. Think about it. You're talking about points on a Super Bowl worth tens of millions of dollars. So it's a very interesting point, and one that, like I said, we could spend a great deal of time. So you either believe in the system or you don't. Not everybody does. John joins us. What's up, John?
Hey, Mike. Just want to tell you, I've listened to a lot of sports talk all over this country. I always come back to you. You're the best man. Don't listen to these papers.
Thank you.
No problem. So on the Jets, specifically, yes. Sam Darnold. I love the player. I think he could be an all-pro for a long time in this league. But I think his career could be ruined by coaching. And I'm not even talking about Todd or Jeremy Bates. I'm talking about this freaking consultant he's had since college. I was reading an article yesterday. This Mike Sarge Riley character. This guy sucks, Mike. I can't stand him. You should hear him on the radio, too. He's awful, Mike. He's awful. He sucks.
And listen, I'm not worried about anything with Sam right now. I really am not. So I think Sam has got his head on very, very squarely, completely. And I'm not even familiar with the guy he's talking about. I don't even know who his consultant is, to be honest with you. I've never even heard about a consultant. So I don't even know who that is. But the point is, I haven't heard anything about Sam that isn't. And the times I've met him, I've really liked him. So I think he's very, very solid in every way. So I don't know if that's there is a story about the guy or not. I'm not sure. I'm familiar with it if it is. I'm not familiar with that. I haven't heard anything about that. But I'm not worried about Sam at all. Now the Jets, I'm a little worried about them. A little worried. I'm a little worried about where the coaching's going. I don't think they've done a great job with them, but I think they have had a bunch of injuries. They haven't had guys healthy. I think the loss of, not having a Nunwa in the lineup, not having explosive wide receivers in the lineup, not having Bilal Powell there has hurt a lot. The injuries on the offensive line have hurt. So I think there's been a lot there that has definitely hurt them some. Joe in Connecticut, what's up, Joe?
Mike, how are you?
What's happening?
Hey, Mike, 2 questions this weekend for college football. 2 SEC games. Do you think Auburn gives Georgia a challenge? And do you think Mississippi State, with that quarterback, can they keep it within 10 points of Bama?
Well,
I'll hang up and listen.
No, I don't think any. And we'll wait. Let me wait for the SEC with Gary. He's coming up in about 15 minutes. I don't want to do it twice, so we'll wait for Gary. Jerry and Rye, what's up, Jerry?
Yeah, I'll tell you that college football has been really great this year. But getting to the pros, boy, it sure is kind of down in the dumps when it's raining and you're hanging out and your football season for the New York area is over. I mean, it's incredible. It's not even Thanksgiving. And I also want to know, when are the Knicks? When can I be a long-suffering? Last time I was excited about the Knicks was 1969,
next year.
1970. I mean,
I think next year. I think next year they will take a quantum leap forward unless they really mess it up. I really think they have the ability to do that. We're coming to you live from the Town Fair Tire Studios, powered by Town Fair Tire. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody.